So in this book, you would see the chapter 12 as an example. It's about teaching, education. So you see there quite a long dialogue and quite a lot new vocabulary. So for people using this book, you need to be really patient. It's quite difficult. So this is the dialogue and the vocabularies and some grammar and another dialogue, and it's talk even more about the education situation in Hong Kong and with some exercise. Alright, so this one is speculation. Once again, quite a lot of vocabulary, and you can see gambling, criminal case. This is a good resource for learning for intermediate student. Same as other books published these 20 years, these 10 years, it will first introduce you with a lot of aspects. Kind of cannot show too much here, like, all right, ouch. Okay, well, probably I hold it in a better way. So you see the content in the different aspects, really a lot of aspects as well, but in the beginning it's kind of easy, but then start from the later part it became very difficult. So let's see what happened. Okay, so law and order, that some people would law and order that some people think it's really difficult. Banking and finance, driving. Okay, so there is like education here, and yeah, so then we'll kind of, yeah, in the back it's difficult for the user that I heard from. Okay, so you can know the content. What I would suggest is if you have several books, this can be a supplement, because you can select. Well, one day probably you need to go to the police or you go to the bank, you can read it as a reference. So I just pick one of the chapters. Oh, this one is the one that I probably go through. No, I didn't teach, I just tried to help the student that she has it. So we just go through it to see what happened, why she stopped, and then we agree that it's too difficult for her at that moment. Probably in the future she can handle it. It's always start with a dialogue, and then people just read it, like the people of publish this book, they read it, and then it's very fast, and then for the student, she said, oh, it's too fast, I cannot understand. It's very frustrating. So I tried to read her one sentence, then another sentence slowly. It still won't help because the words, there are so many words that she don't know. So I can understand why she lose the interest, because if you learn something easier and then you just add one or two words which is more challenging, then she can pick up, but if it's a long passage, then she cannot. And you see that there are a lot of vocabulary. All right, so my student is very good at reading the romanization. She can read to me the whole book without problem, but just don't understand the meaning. All right, so it's then also have the grammar. So like you need to read quite a lot, and so probably for people who can read quite well and lots of passion. And then they always have a second dialogue, And normally these kind of books, they will have the end, they will have a passage. Let's see if it had a passage in the end. All right, so grammar again. Okay, so I still will be interested in using this because my student, when they get to a intermediate level, then we can use it as a supplement. It can be fun to supplement with have some dialogue. All right, so it's in the end, it's actually also have some exercises probably which will help. Okay, so in the past we talked about other books, and those books with exercise will help us definitely to consolidate our knowledge, to help memorization. But then if you learn with a textbook, don't expect if you go through it for like one chapter for like 2 times or 1 time, if you go through it for 1 time, it will be like not strong enough, and you will tend to forget. So then not having a review is important. So like plan your study. You can learn in group with your friends, using the same book, encourage each other, like try to speak with each other, or work with your parents if your parents is Cantonese, or any friends who speak Cantonese. That makes things more fun, more motivated. So we'll just finish here. Thank you, bye bye. Give me some opinion. So let's discuss a bit more on what book you use.